How's it going, you legends? So, about maybe 3 weeks ago, I did a review on the Ln65 Hilux, and I put in that video that if you want me to do a review on the Ln65 Hilux, to please leave it in the comments below, and quite a few people did actually say yes, I do want a review of this vehicle. So, I thought I will give my personal opinion on this vehicle. So, before I owned my Hilux that I own now, I basically used to own an Ln65 Hilux dual cab. That car actually had the tub and canopy off an Ln106 on it, which fitted quite well. It gave the vehicle a whole different look, and thinking back to it now, I thought, yeah, wow, what a cool little rig that was. And I think I'll start by giving out the pros. Like, I mean, honestly, what a weapon of a car. The Ln106 is good in terms of reliability, but this one is an even smaller engine, so it's even a lot slower than the 2.8, although you don't actually notice much difference. I personally didn't really notice much difference in speed and things like that. So yeah, but because of the smaller components of the engine made it a lot more bulletproof. That's what I seem to find with it. Basically, when I owned this vehicle, I was very young, very naive, very silly. I had very little experience when it came to maintaining cars. I didn't really even consider that, you probably should change your oil more than once a year. So, yeah. I did a lot of mods to this vehicle. I ended up having to put new alloy radiators in it, which I have also done with the Ln106. I had to change my injector pump, so I changed a lot of things on it. But basically, and this before I go on, I have to make a disclaimer, don't do any of the things that I'm going to tell you that I did, because it might not end so well for you. Maybe it's just dumb luck for me, I don't know. But like this car, because I was so young and silly, and your mates tell you to do stupid things as they do, which I want to kick myself in the head for doing it nowadays. I put that car through some pretty less than ideal circumstances. For example, this car, like when the radiator started to fail in it, I kept driving it and I wasn't aware at the time that driving a car while it's overheating and while the engine is steaming and the radiator's steaming was a bad idea. But I did that for probably about a week until my new radiator came, and wouldn't do that today, I've got to tell you, with what I know now. But yeah, but it did no damage to the engine at all. It just kept going, even though any other car would probably have just said, nah, I'm done, see ya, and died. So yeah, again, not saying don't do that, don't do what I did. It's a stupid thing. I was young, silly, and stupid. Don't do it. Another time, I was trying to cross this river, and I didn't realise how deep it was. And so it always pays to check it first before you go in. So basically, I put my nose in and it just went straight down, and I'll put the photo up here. Yeah, so and my snorkel wasn't actually hooked up. I forgot that I'd actually unplumbed my snorkel to do some work on the car, because I'd just changed the guard because it had a tree fall on it. So I had water sucked into my engine, and basically we had to take the injectors out and flush it out the old-fashioned way, and then put fresh oil back in it. And that worked. It worked quite well. So in terms of being bulletproof, these cars are pretty tough to kill. You can't kill these cars. Like, you really cannot kill them. So onto the cons. Of course, this engine is a 2.4 engine, not a 2.8. So it's gonna be still very slow, probably very slower than the 2.8 engine. So normal Hilux stuff, all Hiluxes are slow apparently. Ask anyone. So they say. Again, same things as the Ln106, they're old vehicles, things will wear out on them. When I first bought mine, the first thing to go on it was the injector pump. The injector pump failed, so we had to change the injector pump and put a new one on it. That was pretty costly. The second thing to go was, of course, my alternator. This is how I know like what to expect to fail on old Toyotas, because I've had that experience, so that's how I've grown to learn what to replace and what to look out for, to back up my previous video. What else did I have to replace? The radiator, as I said earlier, like because of the overheating problem. Yeah, pretty much everything. And then surprisingly, this vehicle actually had aircon in it. I think the aircon was actually out of an Ln106 and they put it in to the Ln65. So yeah, that was interesting, but that ended up failing because my compressor ended up dying on me, which was pretty shit, but you know, what can you do? So that's pretty much the cons. And the other con of the third one, I should say, would probably be that they are getting very hard to find parts for. You can still buy them on eBay and stuff like that, but genuine parts are probably very hard to find. I found like being the age that they are, the interior starts to deteriorate. Like the dashboard will start to crack. Your door cards will start to deteriorate, things like that. But of course they can all be fixed by doing, like you can make custom door cards, I certainly did. Things of that nature. It's pretty easy. So yeah, not a real lot to say on the Ln65. Like honestly, like it was just a bulletproof truck that I'm actually surprised survived some of the things that I put it through. So yeah, would I recommend you buy one? Well, it all depends. It depends, like, if it's the car that you want and it's your dream car and you're willing to go through the pain that comes from owning an older vehicle, then absolutely, I would dare say yes, you should, if it's the struggle that you want to take. If you're just looking for a cheap 4B that you don't have to do a lot of work on, that you don't have to care for, then it's probably not the vehicle for you. If you want a car that you can just get into and you know it's going to work every time, and you just want a daily driver that's comfortable and gets you from A to B, probably not the best vehicle for you. If you're passionate about it, it's the car for you, and you want a tough off-road vehicle that's reliable, it's basically a tractor, then yeah, it's the vehicle for you. So yeah, that pretty much sums up my review of the Ln65. I hope that gives you the answers you were seeking. So yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.